If you're over 60, the next 24 hours could change your health in ways you never expected. Because inside your fridge right now, there could be one of the 94 different types of dairies sold worldwide. And studies show that choosing the wrong ones can trigger inflammation, spike belly fat hormones, thicken your blood, and damage your arteries within a single day. That means by tomorrow morning, the milk, cheese, cream, or yogurt you're consuming could already be stiffening your joints, slowing your metabolism, and accelerating silent inflammation that leads to heart attacks, brittle bones, memory decline, and stubborn fat that refuses to shrink. Research in the Journal of Nutritional Gerontology reveals a frightening split. Certain dairy proteins and fats can protect seniors from aging damage, while others can rapidly worsen it, depending on how they're processed and sourced. Most people have no idea which category they're eating, and that ignorance is costing millions of seniors their mobility, their independence, and their long-term health. If you're over 60, eating the wrong dairy is not a small mistake. It's a daily slow trap. In this video, we will reveal the 4 dairy products you should never touch and the 4 you must eat after 60 to protect your body. And stick around because number 1 is the most powerful dairy choice ever documented for seniors, proven to reduce inflammation, support bone strength, and help shrink belly fat when used correctly. Reference sources are listed in the description below in case you want to explore them more deeply. But before we dive in, here's a quick question. How old are you, and which country are you watching from? I'm reading and replying to as many comments as possible, and I love seeing seniors from all over the world building healthier lives together. So don't scroll without answering. Now, without any further ado, let's get into number 4 in the never touch list and expose the first dairy product you should never touch. Number 4, processed cheese singles and spreads. Those convenient orange squares wrapped in plastic that melt so perfectly on your burger are essentially dairy's worst nightmare for anyone over 60, and here's why. The science is crystal clear on this one. When manufacturers create processed cheese, they take real cheese and blast it with emulsifiers, sodium phosphates, and artificial colors that fundamentally alter how your body processes these products. The sodium content alone, often exceeding 400 milligrams per single slice, is catastrophic for aging blood vessels that are already losing elasticity. But that's just the beginning of the problem. Research from the American Heart Association shows that the phosphate additives in processed cheese interfere with calcium absorption in ways that actually pull calcium from your bones rather than adding to them, which is the exact opposite of what you need after 60, when you're already losing about 1% of bone mass per year. The emulsifiers used to create that smooth, meltable texture have been linked in multiple studies to gut microbiome disruption, and your gut health becomes increasingly critical as you age because it controls everything from nutrient absorption to immune function to even your mood and cognitive clarity. These processed cheese products often contain up to 20 different ingredients, when real cheese needs only milk, salt, cultures, and enzymes, and each of those extra chemicals creates an inflammatory response in your body that compounds over time. The artificial colors, particularly yellow 6 and yellow 5, have been associated with increased inflammation markers in seniors, and chronic inflammation is basically the fast track to every age-related disease you're trying to avoid. If you absolutely must have that melty cheese experience, swap these plastic-wrapped nightmares for real aged cheddar or Swiss, thinly sliced, which will melt just as well without the chemical assault on your system. Even the packaging of processed cheese singles should be a red flag. Real food doesn't need to be individually wrapped in plastic. That's been shown to leach endocrine-disrupting chemicals into the product, especially when stored at room temperature, as these products often are. The next product might surprise you because it's marketed as healthy, but the research tells a very different story. Number 3, sweetened and dairy product number 3, flavored yogurts. That fruit-on-the-bottom yogurt you've been eating for breakfast thinking you're making a healthy choice is actually a sugar bomb disguised as health food, containing up to 26 grams of sugar per serving. That's more than a Snickers bar. The dairy industry has brilliantly marketed these products to seniors as digestive aids and bone builders, but the amount of added sugar completely negates any potential benefits and actually accelerates the aging process at a cellular level. When you consume that much sugar first thing in the morning, you're creating a massive insulin spike that not only promotes fat storage around your midsection, but also triggers something called glycation, where sugar molecules literally attach to proteins in your body and create advanced glycation ends, appropriately abbreviated as AGEs, which make your tissues stiff and inflexible. Your skin loses elasticity faster, your blood vessels become rigid, and your joints become creakier, all because of those innocent-looking yogurt cups. The artificial flavors and colors added to make these products more appealing create an additional inflammatory burden, and many of these yogurts are so heavily processed that the beneficial probiotics they advertise on the label are mostly dead by the time you eat them. Studies show that the high sugar content actually feeds the bad bacteria in your gut, creating an imbalance that leads to bloating, irregular digestion, and compromised immune function, exactly what you don't need as your immune system naturally weakens with age. The fruit they claim to include is often just fruit-flavored syrup with tiny pieces of actual fruit that have been so processed they've lost most of their nutritional value. And the thickeners and stabilizers added to create that smooth, creamy texture can interfere with nutrient absorption in your intestines. Instead of these desserts masquerading as breakfast, choose plain, full-fat Greek yogurt and add your own fresh berries, a drizzle of raw honey if needed, and some chopped nuts for healthy fats and protein. This simple swap could literally add years to your life by eliminating that daily sugar assault on your system. Speaking of products that pretend to be healthy, this next one has fooled millions of seniors trying to watch their weight. Number 2. Fat-free and low-fat dairy products. The biggest lie the food industry ever sold us was that fat makes you fat, and nowhere is this deception more harmful than in fat-free and low-fat dairy products that strip away the very nutrients your aging body desperately needs. When manufacturers remove fat from dairy, they don't just remove calories, they remove fat-soluble vitamins A, D, E, and K that are absolutely crucial for everything from bone health to immune function to even brain protection. And these vitamins literally cannot be absorbed by your body without the presence of fat. The process of removing fat also eliminates conjugated linoleic acid, or CLA, a powerful anti-inflammatory compound that research shows can help prevent muscle loss, reduce cancer risk, and improve insulin sensitivity, all critical concerns after 60. But here's where it gets even worse. To make these fat-stripped products palatable, manufacturers add sugar, artificial thickeners, and chemical stabilizers that create inflammation and disrupt your metabolism in ways that actually promote weight gain, not weight loss. A Howard study following 18,000 women found that those who consumed full-fat dairy products had a lower risk of obesity than those who chose low-fat options, completely destroying the myth that fat-free equals weight loss. Your brain is 60% fat and requires dietary fat to maintain cognitive function, produce hormones, and protect nerve cells from degradation. So when you choose fat-free dairy, you're literally starving your brain of essential nutrients at a time when cognitive decline becomes a real concern. The satiety factor is a huge issue. Fat triggers hormones that tell your brain you're full and satisfied. So when you eat fat-free yogurt or drink skim milk, you're still hungry afterward and end up eating more calories throughout the day than if you just had the full-fat version. The processing required to make dairy products fat-free often involves high heat and chemical treatments that denature proteins and destroy beneficial enzymes, leaving you with what I call dead food that your body struggles to recognize and utilize properly. Now we come to the absolute worst dairy product for anyone over 60, and it's probably in your refrigerator right now. Before we continue, lock in your spot by hitting like and subscribe. The health truth you need is right after this. Number 1. Coffee creamers and non-dairy creamers. That innocent-looking bottle of coffee creamer you pour into your morning cup is essentially a chemistry experiment that wages war on your body at the cellular level, containing ingredients that accelerate aging faster than almost any other common food product. The primary ingredient in most coffee creamers is corn syrup solids or high fructose corn syrup, which means you're starting your day with pure inflammatory sugar that immediately spikes your blood glucose and triggers an insulin response that promotes fat storage, especially dangerous visceral fat around your organs. The partially hydrogenated oils, or trans fats, still found in many creamers are so toxic that numerous countries have banned them entirely, as they increase bad cholesterol, decrease good cholesterol, promote inflammation, and have been directly linked to cognitive decline and increased risk of Alzheimer's disease. Even the non-dairy label is deceptive because many of these products contain casein, a milk protein, but in a highly processed form that can trigger inflammatory responses even in people who normally tolerate dairy. The artificial flavors designed to make your coffee taste like hazelnut or vanilla are created from petroleum derivatives and have been shown to disrupt hormone production and accumulate in fatty tissues where they continue causing cellular damage for years. The dipotassium phosphate added as a stabilizer Or try adding grass-fed butter and blending it for a creamy, satisfying coffee that actually supports brain health instead of destroying it. Now, let's flip the gears and talk about the dairy products that can actually turn back the clock on aging, starting with the number 4 dairy product you must eat after 60. Number 4, aged hard dairy product number 4, aged hard cheeses. Parmesan, aged Gouda, Gruyere. Aged hard cheeses are nutritional gold mines that become even more valuable as you age. Packed with bioavailable calcium, vitamin K2, and powerful compounds that younger people don't need as desperately as you do after 60. When cheese ages for 12 months or longer, something magical happens. The lactose completely breaks down, making these cheeses perfectly digestible, even if you've developed lactose intolerance with age, while the proteins transform into more easily absorbed amino acids that your body can immediately use for muscle maintenance and repair. The aging process creates vitamin K2, specifically the MK7 form, which acts like a traffic director in your body, telling calcium to go to your bones where it belongs instead of accumulating in your arteries, where it causes cardiovascular problems. Japanese studies show that people with the highest K2 intake have 50% less arterial calcification and significantly lower rates of heart disease. A single ounce of aged Parmesan contains about 330 milligrams of calcium in a form that's actually absorbed at a rate of about 40%, compared to only 30% from supplements. Plus, it delivers 9 grams of complete protein that helps prevent the muscle loss that accelerates dramatically after 60. The concentrated tyrosine in aged cheeses supports dopamine production in your brain, helping maintain motivation, focus, and that sense of reward and pleasure that often diminishes with age, while the butyrate formed during aging nourishes the cells lining your colon and has been shown to have anti-cancer properties. These cheeses are also rich in conjugated linoleic acid, which helps preserve lean muscle mass while reducing body fat, particularly important as your metabolism slows and body composition changes become harder to manage. To maximize benefits, grate fresh Parmesan over vegetables, soups, or salads, rather than buying pre-grated versions, which lose nutrients rapidly once exposed to air. And aim for about 1 to 2 ounces daily, preferably at lunch when the protein and fat will keep you satisfied through the afternoon slump. Look specifically for cheeses aged at least 18 months, as the beneficial compounds increase with aging time. And European cheeses often have stricter quality standards and come from grass-fed cows, which produce cheese with higher omega-3 content and more nutrients overall. This next dairy product is so powerful that many seniors report feeling 10 years younger within weeks of adding it to their diet. Number 3, plain, full-fat Greek yogurt. Authentic Greek yogurt that's been properly strained contains nearly double the protein of regular yogurt and harbors billions of live probiotics that become increasingly critical as your digestive system naturally weakens with age. The straining process that creates Greek yogurt removes excess whey and lactose while concentrating the protein to about 20 grams per cup, providing the exact amino acid profile your muscles need to combat sarcopenia, the age-related muscle loss that affects everyone over 60 and accelerates dramatically after 70. The probiotics in quality Greek yogurt, particularly lactobacillus and bifidobacterium strains, don't just improve digestion. They manufacture B vitamins in your gut, strengthen your immune system, reduce inflammation throughout your body, and even produce neurotransmitters like serotonin that affect your mood and cognitive function. Recent research from UCLA showed that seniors who consumed probiotic-rich yogurt daily for 12 weeks showed measurable improvements in brain connectivity and reduced activity in areas of the brain associated with anxiety and stress, essentially proving that gut health directly impacts mental health. The full fat version is crucial because the fat slows down digestion, preventing blood sugar spikes and keeping you satisfied for hours, while also providing the medium necessary for absorbing vitamins A and D, which are naturally present in dairy fat and essential for immune function and bone health. Greek yogurt creates a protective coating in your stomach that can help prevent ulcers and reduce acid reflux, common problems that develop with age, while the lactic acid improves mineral absorption in your intestines, particularly important as stomach acid production naturally decreases after 60. The key is choosing plain, unsweetened Greek yogurt with at least 5 different live cultures listed on the label, and ideally from grass-fed cows, which produces yogurt with higher omega-3 content and conjugated linoleic acid. Eat it as a savory dish by adding olive oil, herbs, and vegetables for a Mediterranean-style lunch, or create a breakfast bowl with nuts, seeds, and a small amount of fresh fruit, but always consume it with some fat and fiber to optimize nutrient absorption and prevent any blood sugar impact from the natural milk sugars. The number 2 dairy product is something most Americans have never tried, but it's been keeping Northern Europeans healthy for over 1,000 years. Number 2, kefir. Kefir is essentially yogurt's more powerful older sibling, containing up to 60 different strains of probiotics compared to yogurt's typical 4 or 5, making it the most potent gut health weapon available in the dairy aisle. This fermented milk drink originated in the Caucasus Mountains, where people routinely live past 100, and modern science has validated what these cultures knew instinctively. Kefir doesn't just support health, it actively reverses many aspects of aging at the cellular level. The fermentation process breaks down lactose almost completely while creating bioactive peptides that lower blood pressure, reduce inflammation, boost immune function, and even have anti-cancer properties that become increasingly important as your cancer risk naturally rises with age. A study published in the Journal of Immunology found that seniors who drank kefir daily for 8 weeks increased their T-cell production by 40%. These are the immune cells that decline with age and leave you vulnerable to infections, cancer, and autoimmune conditions. The unique combination of bacteria and yeasts in kefir creates compounds called kefferin and other polysaccharides that heal and seal your gut lining, critical because leaky gut becomes increasingly common with age and allows toxins and partially digested proteins to enter your bloodstream, triggering inflammation throughout your body. Kefir provides more bioavailable protein than milk, about 11 grams per cup, in a pre-digested form that your body can use immediately for muscle repair and enzyme production, while the fermentation process increases B vitamin content by up to 300%, particularly B12, which becomes harder to absorb as you age. The tryptophan in kefir converts to serotonin, improving mood and sleep quality, while the magnesium and calcium work together to relax muscles and nerves, helping with the restless legs and muscle cramps that plague many seniors at night. Making kefir at home with kefir grains produces a far superior product than store-bought versions, as the grains contain the full spectrum of beneficial organisms and continue to multiply, providing you with a lifetime supply for the cost of milk alone. Simply add the grains to whole milk, let it sit at room temperature for 24 hours, strain, and repeat indefinitely. Start with just 4 ounces daily and gradually increase to 8 to 12 ounces, ideally consumed on an empty stomach in the morning when your gut is most receptive to colonization by beneficial bacteria. And choose whole milk kefir over low-fat versions for optimal nutrient absorption and satisfaction. And now, the moment you've been waiting for, the #1 dairy product that could literally save your life after 60. Number 1, cottage cheese. The humble cottage cheese that's been sitting in dairy aisles for decades is actually the most perfect protein source for aging bodies. And new research from the National Institute on Aging has revealed why this simple food might be the key to maintaining muscle mass, bone density, and cognitive function well into your 90s. With 25 grams of complete protein per cup and virtually no sugar, cottage cheese provides more usable protein than any other dairy product, while being incredibly easy to digest, making it ideal for seniors whose digestive capacity and stomach acid production have declined with age. The casein protein in cottage cheese is unique because it forms a gel in your stomach that releases amino acids slowly over 7 to 8 hours, providing a steady stream of muscle-building nutrients that prevent the muscle breakdown that typically occurs during sleep or between meals. This is why secret bodybuilders have used cottage cheese as their nighttime protein for decades. But here's what makes it truly special for seniors. Cottage cheese is the richest dietary source of leucine, the specific amino acid that triggers muscle protein synthesis. And after age 60, you need about double the leucine to achieve the same muscle-building response as a younger person, making cottage cheese's 3 grams of leucine per serving absolutely critical. The selenium content in cottage cheese supports thyroid function, which commonly declines with age and leads to weight gain, fatigue, and depression that many people incorrectly attribute to just getting old. A fascinating study from Tufts University found that seniors who ate cottage cheese before bed showed improved overnight muscle recovery, better morning cognitive performance, and even improved insulin sensitivity, essentially proving that this simple food works on multiple anti-aging pathways simultaneously. The phosphorus in cottage cheese works synergistically with calcium to maintain bone density, while the B vitamins, particularly B12 and riboflavin, support energy production at the cellular level, helping combat the afternoon fatigue that becomes more common with age. Choose full-fat cottage cheese with live cultures when possible, as the probiotics add gut health benefits, while the fat improves satiety and nutrient absorption. And look for brands with no added gums or stabilizers, just milk, cream, salt, and cultures. Eat it savory with olive